Yo, what's good, everybody? Hello and good morning here in sunny Los Angeles, California. I am Joey JayPing. This is the Respect My Region Podcast Network, and today we've got another RMR Podcast episode. Folks, we've got a great guest today. We've got Joey Gindi, CEO, owner, big boss dog, Colorado's Ajoya Brands. Man, they got a couple dispensaries. You guys got brands and products going. Like, Colorado's a fun market, Joey, and so I'm excited to have you on the show. I know it's afternoon for you though, and so where are you at in the world? How's Colorado today? How we living?
We're doing good, man. I'm in Arvada, just outside of Denver.
Nice.
I'm in my home office right now.
Dope.
And yeah, it's 12:30, man. It's been a fine day. A little gloomy out. So I kind of like that. It's been hot as balls here the last few weeks. So
I was just gonna ask because I've only been to Colorado, specifically Denver, for a 420. It was 2017. It snowed, and it was right as rec started, so it was terrible because they weren't allowing any consumption anywhere. Lil Wayne performed at that big thing at like the downtown area, like they do every year. They were kicking people out left and right, man, and everybody from Colorado told me that wasn't how it used to be. And so today, Joey, we're going to talk about the culture, the industry today, what you guys have been doing. We're going to talk a little bit about what you guys were up to before from a market perspective, you personally, where Ajoya was at back in 17, 18, or maybe it wasn't anywhere. Who knows? But we're going to cover a diverse set of questions today, Joey. And so I appreciate you joining. Now, first things first, Joey, Ajoya Brands. How did that name come up with? Where did it come from? Were you high? Were you in the shower? Where did you have that idea?
So no, I wasn't high. I wasn't in the shower, but we were back in 2015. Me and a small leadership crew went on to Washington D.C. for like a business mastermind, I guess is what I'll call it. And back then we were kind of reimagining who we wanted to be in the marketplace. Right, we knew that cannabis retail was starting. This is actually 2014. We knew that cannabis.
You guys already been in the market because you're talking like you guys were already doing things.
Yeah, man, we've been in the market. We were compassionate pain management back in 2009.
Wow, so you guys have been doing it for 16 years.
16 years,
and that's just 2009. Let alone what you did before 2009 to get that open, right?
My brother Sean is the original founder and one who opened compassionate pain management. So he was in real estate in New York, moved back to Colorado in 2008-9 and opened up a store inside of Louisville. He actually called me and was like, "Hey, I'm opening a dispensary." And this was when people were like getting the doctor's cards and doing all of that. And he called me and told me, and I was like, I just didn't believe him. I was like, "You're on that train. Like, I'm hearing kind of about this, but I don't know about opening up a dispensary." It was super kind of like, this sounds sketch as fuck.
At that time, that was pretty far out there, right? At that time.
Yeah, it was pretty far out there. So I didn't really believe him, but then in August or September of 2009, he sent me a photo of the inside of Compassionate Pain Management, which was like a doctor's office kind of feel. You kind of walk in, it's a really nice lobby. We had this like glass sliding window. You check people in and you go back into like private one-on-one consultation rooms.
Yep.
We also had acupuncture and massage. So we had a couple acupuncture and massage rooms. And man, we were in slacks and a button down every day. So that's how we dressed.
Like a doctor's office. It's like a little appointment, place.
Yeah.
Right there.
It's like a doctor's office. Yeah, man, that's what it was. And it was beautiful. That was the days when people would, show up in their car with bags of weed from their home grows, or show up with like little brownies and whatnot. And they're like, "Hey, will you buy my product?" And so on site, we would test it. We would check it out and figure out, so I kind of jumped forward a little bit. So he let me know he was opening up a store. It wasn't until like 4 months later that I decided to come on board.
Wow. So, did you come out and check it first, or did you get on board right once you got out here and like saw it, or like what was that like?
Well, I was already in Colorado. I just graduated college. I was going to school for architecture. I just got done, but I knew I didn't want to pursue a career in that. Yeah. So I was trying to figure out what to do. I was working in a restaurant, doing my thing. I love to smoke weed. I love to do drugs. I was kind of just like, all right, I need to get away from that though. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. And when he opened up the store, it just gave me an opportunity to do something outside of a restaurant that could potentially be a career. So I just said, you know what, let's give this a shot.
Now, skipping forward to now, any regrets? And then we'll go back.
No regrets, man.
I'll take that breath. We don't have to think any more than that. I'll take that breath and energy because there's been a lot. You've had to do a lot of sacrifices. I'm sure there's been a lot of tough moments where it's like it really took some grit, you know? I'm sure it's been like
Absolutely.
Colorado has been one of the tough ones.
It's been challenging, man. It's been challenging. But back to your original question, you had asked me where did the name come from,
Yes.
Ajoya?
Yes.
Right. So in 2014, when we were kind of reimagining who we would be in the market, we wanted to attract like new consumers and build a retail space for people that they actually felt comfortable walking into. Mm-hmm. We didn't want this like, walk into a lobby and get buzzed through a door and go into a private room kind of vibe. We wanted to create like a retail environment. And so that's what we went after. And we went through like a big brand development process. And long story short, man, our name Ajoya is comprised of two words kind of joined together. So Goja, it means joyful in Esperanto. Esperanto is like a universal language. It's not tied to any specific country. And then Ajoyo, which means celebration in Yoruba. And so Goja and Ajoyo, we combine them together to create Ajoya, right? And so it's a combination of those two words. And really it's like welcoming joy in and reflecting joy outward and celebrating who we are as human beings, our diverse backgrounds, and just the world that we live in.
I love that, right? Man. And it's funny too, because there's always something going on in people's lives and a little message, a little branding element, or maybe it's a comment from somebody. It can be a reminder, and it can be a powerful reminder sometimes. And I think that what you guys have created there is a perfect example of that. It is if you know, you know, but if you did look it up, you might learn something better for yourself. And I think that's something cool about cannabis and what the brand you guys have created. Now, you guys, I did some research online. You guys do a lot out there, and you've been doing it a while. So walk me through what are the facets of your business, retail, product, branding. What all do you guys have going on? Because most of the country, Joey, doesn't pay too much attention to Colorado anymore. There's a lot of hype around New York and Missouri and Illinois social equity and New Jersey not being MSO dominated anymore and all these different things. Cali, it's suffocating itself. Washington, no one cares. Oregon, whatever. What is going on with you guys? What all do you guys do across the market there?
Yeah, man, I'm glad you asked. So we used to be vertically integrated. You know, we used to have a cultivation, our stores, we dabbled in some product development. But for the last, 5 years now, we've been strictly retail, right? So we decided to focus on two things. One, just our retail stores and optimizing those and having them run efficiently. And this has been a challenging market, like you said before.
Yep.
Not an easy feat to stay alive inside of this market. And still, people don't realize that even though we're 16 years in, there's still new stores opening in new municipalities that didn't allow cannabis before.
Yeah. Okay. So that's something to really think about and remember, because all that is happening in other places, but we sleep on that for Colorado and think it's not, right?
Yeah, it's still happening here. So focused on retail, man, and then we're focused on the people, right? So we are, instead of going into like product development or, developing new brands, we're actually kind of transforming into an education and wellness company, right? And we're focused on right now, a project that we're working on is we're calling it kind of the awakening, and it's a 30-day journey into conscious cannabis, right? And the premise of it is cannabis is going to continue to become more widely available to people, but people don't recognize, most people, your average person don't recognize that cannabis is also a psychedelic. Right. And navigating your relationship with cannabis is important because it's going to, when you consume and you interact with this sacred plant, it's going to like bring up some stuff for you. It might bring on anxiety. It might bring on some level of paranoia. It also will be beautiful, right? And give you a ton of relief. It's a mixed bag depending on the person, the environment they're in, how comfortable they are with it. And so we're developing programs right now to support people in navigating their relationship with cannabis.
I love that. Everyone's journey is different, Joey. When I was
Yeah.
I was a medically certified bud tender in Seattle, but you know who I was trained by? The Diego Pellicer guys. Before year two, like before that store even launched, we were trained by Colorado people. Not everyone is great, but I will tell you that my mentors from Colorado, the two people that I shouted out in a post on LinkedIn yesterday, they changed my life. And they changed my life because it was Colorado culture that set them up, and then they set us up. And one of the gentlemen, shout out to Jesse Leach. Jesse was a manager at Top Golf, Top Shot. What is it? The golf thing there in Colorado?
Top Golf.
Yeah,
it's Top Golf.
He was like the manager for that kind of thing there. And you think about the experience level. You think about the amount of money involved in the clientele. And you know what? It doesn't even matter about their income. We're people first, man, and everyone's different. You got people that play golf there. You got business people, but then you got the wives and families there that are just trying to order some fucking chicken fingers, Joey.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that's what's cool is that everyone is different all the time. And in cannabis, it's nothing. It's no exception. You guys talk about this journey and this, getting this being more customer focused, being more education focused. What are some of the core focuses within that goal that you feel is important for these customers to really, receive? Because the Joya is the receiving and the giving. So what do you want them to receive?
What do I want customers to receive inside of the experience I was just sharing with you?
Yes.
I want them to develop, I don't know, it might sound a little like ethereal. I don't know, you tell me. I'm just going to share it with you. Like, I want them to develop a powerful and conscious, like their own intimate personal relationship with this plant and develop it in a way where they learn to interact with it in ways that actually serves them.
Okay.
Right. I've been in this industry 16 years. The amount of people that I've come across that are like, man, I tried this once and it just wasn't a great experience, or that cannabis just isn't for me. Or the people that generally, and by the way, none of this is bad or good or right or wrong at all. But there's a lot of people too that, like myself, who kind of have a struggling relationship with cannabis, right? Like, I started way young. I used it as a crutch. It kind of became this thing I'd lean on whenever I'd have uncomfortable feelings that I didn't know what to deal with. I would lean on cannabis, and it became this thing where it was like, I struggled with it, but I have so much love for it. Like, I love cannabis, and it bothered me that I struggled with it. And so I had to navigate that relationship. And so when I talk about people developing a relationship to the plant that serves them, it's like, I want them to receive guidance from us.
Yeah.
I want them to receive being listened to and heard by people inside of their space. I want them to receive being supported by us as a business.
I like
you know
that.
what I mean? And just helping them kind of navigate this space and develop a positive relationship to it.
If the core focus is about the foundation of giving, receiving, safe space, and figuring out your relationship with the plant, right? Figuring out how it works best with you and what you work towards. If you can always fall back on that, bud tenders that tell you what you should buy because it's high THC shouldn't really rattle your cages, right? People that make recommendations that don't fit into your thing, those aren't bad recommendations. Those people are working with what they like. And so it's a foundation that allows us to give and receive perspective without so much friction. When in cannabis right now, a lot of us are unhappy with the bud tenders. A lot of us also rely on the bud tenders to do their job at the best level they can. A lot of retailers aren't able to pay them necessarily what someone might want to be extremely educated at their job, right? And it's this hard balance, but it's understanding this giving and receiving these perspectives, this finding this relationship with the plant. But I think if we can fall back on that collectively, in addition to what you guys are delivering there in Colorado, I think we'd be better off for it, to be honest.
100%, man. I mean, I think that's it. This industry, I was talking to someone about it this morning, right? It's going to as it becomes more available and people try it, it's we need people to be talking about bud tenders and stores, licensed dispensaries, because they're the ones selling the products. to really like give the perspective, like you're saying, right? Like give the perspective to potential consumers. Uh, Talk to them about the real shit that comes up when you consume.
I
You know what
think
I mean?
about I think about like what are all the different ways we communicate, Joey, to the, let's just say I'm your marketing team and this is a private call between us, right? What are
Yeah.
all the different ways the two Joeys reach their customers? We text them, we can Instagram post, we can email, we can talk, we can say specific things in person, right? We can
Yeah.
choose to say certain things or not say certain things. This isn't specifically for your guys' locations, but because I've only been in Colorado once, so it's not like I've been there. But how many dispensaries have we been in, Joey, where it's, oh, cool. What brings you today? Oh, great, cool. Indica sativa hybrid, and it's like,
Yeah.
yo, I'll pay you $2 more to not say that to me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what about not mentioning the THC percentages? What about speaking about the products in the capacity you're talking about? What it
Yeah.
could do, what it could potentially affect, how it could be good for fishing, or maybe it's good to sleep, or maybe it's good for cooking and you had a great time. Why do we correlate when we're selling as bud tenders? Because I'm a former bud tender and I did this too. 2016, I didn't know any better. All we had, nobody knew anything in 2016 besides what Leafly said before the terpenes were put on there because they rebranded. People don't know, Joey. We were around when Leafly was the straying tiles, when
Yeah.
it looked like weed for kids, when it looked
Yeah.
like weed for teenagers of like seventh grade understanding. They rebranded, made it all about terps, changed their colors, looked way more like a tech company after that. And then terpenes became a priority for people all over the place.
And
Yeah.
what about too, man? Like it's not even so that's important, right? Like the other cannabinoids and terpenes in the plant. But there's also the like what's happening in a person's life. Like what's the environment that they're in when they're consuming? Who are they with
Correct.
when they're consuming?
Yeah, I'm still
What
talking about just things that could be on the bag. You're still personalizing it even more.
Yeah, man, because it's important. It's like important. Like if you're if you're dealing with some heavy stuff, let's say you got like in my case, like heavy health stuff in your life, someone in your family's really struggling with their health. Let's say it's your wife or your kid, right? And you are at home and you're using cannabis to kind of unwind and de-stress from all of that. It's very possible that after you consume, a lot of your feelings and things that are underneath the surface are going to come up,
Come out.
that are going to come out. And it's like, then what? It's like now you have this cannabis experience. You're in this experience for the next 1.5 to 3.5 hours, and you've got this stuff coming up that's deeply personal. And it's like, what do you do with that? And some people, it might make them paranoid. It might make them anxious. They might not, they might turn them off. Or some people might lean into it and grab a pen and paper and start writing down what's coming up for them and trying to figure out how to process that stuff that's underneath.
I'm going to be real. Hey, you're not my therapist and I'm not paying for this session, but damn it if I'm not becoming a better person right now listening to you right now. So, chills down my back. So it's just like, I think about my life, the pain and trauma I have. I don't talk to my brother and my dad, Joey. Everybody that knows me very well, I don't talk to that half of the family. And guys, guess what? It's the weed thing. It sounds crazy, but that's what's been communicated is the weed stuff and my poor choices, right? Because of that.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a professional and that we do this or, I've made I've been able to pay my debts for 2-3 years of college and doing the things I'm supposed to do. Not that. All this other stuff, right? And so I think when I get high, you know what I do, Joey? I go, nah, snap, and I go back to respect my region. What I love doing more than anything that like is an activity is grinding, helping people, discovering music, getting excited. You just gave me some game that's gonna chill with me for as much as I think about it. You know what I mean? The energy I put into that, the more that I'll continue to think about that path, right? And that's what I love because if I just box myself in to my family's mindset, doesn't matter whose, whatever, or to that energy, if I just box myself in energy, I wouldn't be able to go and be the best that I can be. And what you're talking about cannabis, it entirely matters the reality that you're in, right? The headspace, how you feel. You just talking about my family, it always makes me feel some kind of way. But you know what, Joey? I love this, and that's just where we're at. And so weed for me is that quick, nope, let's go back to every single thing I like and what I believe to be a decision that I've made, which is me with cannabis doing these things equals me and my best self, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how cannabis amplifies my reality and an example of how I take it from a negative into a positive. But you're right, those things come up, man. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. And now that I'm 34, I'm older, and I'm finding grays now officially. Like I found my first little ones like you here the other day. I pulled them out and was like, no way. But as that sets in, I miss them, you know? And cannabis definitely helps with that. But also, too, the cannabis industry, there are people now in our industry, this is a mental health safe space. Talking about that, I'm sure people are going to slide on my DMs and be like, yo, you might need to go talk to this person about it. I got somebody that knows you, Joe, you know, that likes your energy, that is similar, whatever, right? It's personable, Joe. God, you gave some game today, man. I love it. Okay, Joe, we got to dive back, though. This is about your store today. So, Ajoya Brands, what cities are you guys currently operating in? We'll start with that.
We're in Louisville, right outside of Boulder. So It's a town of like 25,000 people, and it's been in like the top, I don't know if it is now, but for a long time, it was the top 3 places to live in the U.S. for families. Wow. So awesome family town.
That's great.
And then we've got Lakewood, which is just outside of Denver, like 155,000 or so people. It's between Denver, and then Red Rocks. So kind of in the middle there.
That's dope.
Awesome spots.
Your guys' clientele, is it mainly the locals? Is it mainly like if you guys are between Denver and Red Rocks, is it seasonal per se or weekend based, timely?
We definitely during the spring and summer. I mean, we get a lot of people coming in for shows. You know, from Colorado, outside of Colorado, and we got a lot of new customers. But a good percentage of them, you know, are from out of state. It's also right on the way up to the mountains. So people pass by us. This is our Lakewood store.
Okay.
You know, and yeah, I would say, you know, summer months definitely in Lakewood is busier. And we do get seasonality. Louisville's kind of flattened out a bit. Not as much seasonality as it used to be in previous years. Now it's pretty flat, 12 months of the year. A lot of business people, though. There's a lot of hotels around Louisville. So people fly in for work. They usually stay around our area.
Obviously, Colorado known for snow, skiing, snowboarding, helicopter, everything, all the craziest stuff.
Yeah,
right? I've seen some of the cool, like, not with snow on it, which sounds crazy to say, but when I worked at Microsoft, I went to Salt Lake City for a work trip, and we took an Uber all the way up to like the resorts to see just kind of what they look like. But it was like summer, so it was like all green.
It's fun up there during the summer, man. Like biking.
Yeah, what's Colorado like, man, on a personal level, Joey? Because you've been there, man, for a while. Like, what's it really like there? When it's freezing cold, or was it blizzards? What do you guys? What's the deal? It's summertime. Cooking or what?
It's beautiful here. 300 days of sunshine a year.
Wow.
You know, I mean, the snow is snowy up in the mountains, but it's really not so bad down here. So if you're an outdoorsy guy and you love to like be in nature, you know, I mean, it's a beautiful place to do it most of the year. You know, you can hike 14ers, go mountain biking, rock climbing. I don't do, honestly, much of any of that. I got 2 kids, and that's pretty much my world.
Yeah.
Is this business and my family.
Now, this next section, because I didn't shout out our sponsors at the beginning, this next section is powered by our 2 sponsors for the episode. Big shout out to blackleaf.io, our cannabis SMS pay-as-you-go partner for retailers. We love Blackleaf. And to sparkscan.com, our cannabis listing marketplace agency partners. These guys help our partners make money. And so this next segment here is going to be about some of the brands, some of the products, some of the top selling. People want to know what's moving there, man. And so, Joey, we'll start with, what would you describe when you think about, hey, Joey Brabo's flying into town. He just wants some of your favorite products. What would you say a couple of your favorite products are for that personal situation that, not data driven? This is what you use, why you use it, kind of thing.
Yeah, man. Good question. So for flower, one, I love our procurement manager and our staff who tries our product, because they pick out, they have a pretty high standard for the quality of flower that comes in the door. So I think you can't go wrong when you shop at our store and just see what vibes with you. But for me personally, I'm usually going for brands, man. Brands, and then we separate. I don't know if you saw on our website, we separate things by elevate, focus, unwind, and settle. We got away from the sativa indica conversation.
Yep.
So me personally, I love elevate. I love elevate strains, and I'm generally going for like 710 or Kind Love or Local Love.
Mm-hmm.
Local Love, shout out to them, great people, Colorado business, local Colorado business. You know, I guess all these brands are pretty much Colorado, but these guys
I think at this point brands are starting in Colorado and expanding out, or that's about it. I don't think brands are expanding to Colorado at this point anymore. No,
there's some, not as many. You know, I actually know a brand that I don't know if I'm going to say their name right now, but they hit the market back in November because no new brands are coming in Colorado. The ones that do and do it right are getting in stores. Because the Colorado market wants new products. They want new brands. They want new action over here.
Yes.
But a lot of brands want to go to New York or want to go to different places where it's a newer market, which leaves room for people that are business entrepreneurs that are smart can come in here and actually get in stores.
One of my favorite quotes, shout out Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, the value of underpriced attention. Colorado, Washington, Montana.
Yeah.
Places that move units, guys. Places that move units. I love to hear that you say that too. People sleep on Colorado. Even in the past, man, I've hated on it. I'm not going to lie. I don't have Colorado flower in my top 5. I don't have the edibles you guys have, I want to say a top 1 or a top 2, or I think Juana's either 1 or 2. I forget. I think
they're up there. Yeah,
Juana's number 2 in the country. So you got the banger. You know, you got one of the best. You got an MVP, and they crush for edibles.
You know, Good Tide's another one that's kind of newer that I really like. You know, they're a rosin gummy.
Yeah. They're from Wild, right?
Yeah, great flavor. It is Wild, I believe. Yeah, great flavor and great experience on their products. I like mixes of cannabinoids, right? Like THC, CBD. I think that one has CBC in it too. Something about the blends of cannabinoids and edibles I prefer that over distillate.
I think it's important to touch on too that you guys are primarily known across the country also for 710 Labs and your guys' oil. Colorado's always been respected as a top concentrate state, hands down. You guys are going to say, you know, some of the best. The Cali folks are going to say the NorCal shit, or, you know, indoor rosin, that's super designer weed, exotic shit. Washington's going to say they want clean weed. Oregon's just going to say they got it. But, you know, everyone has their own thing. What do you believe is some of the top concentrates there, even if it's just in the stuff that you have in your store?
I mean, 710, I hate to say it, you know, and the truth is, man, I'm not a big concentrate consumer. Okay. But 710 is definitely at the top of the list. And I couldn't tell you who some of the other ones. We're actually not even a big concentrate store.
So again, you know, not to say that that's bad or interesting or different or whatever, but it's just a little wow to me. Not because of your store not being that, but that none of the other brands really truly stand out on the level that's memorable like a 710. Like, it's kind of the case in a lot of places, to be honest. Like, you go Washington and California, there's so many brands, right, in those 2 states alone, individually. Washington 1 or 2, Constellation or Northwest, whatever. Cali, you know, you'll get people naming whatever.
Laser Cat is one. You know, people love Laser Cat. Have you heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so they're a local Colorado group, but they've definitely built a name for themselves here.
It's fire. What about vapes? Vapes has been a category, Joey, that has exploded. The days of 510 disty still are booming, but these other categories, cured, live resin, cured resin, rosin. We've got liquid diamonds now. You've got all these different types of things. All-in-ones exploded. No one anticipated all-in-ones exploding the way they did. What does that vape market in the industry look like for you guys there?
I mean, it's a hot commodity. I mean, people love their vapes. You know, I mean, people love the all-in-ones. They don't like I can't speak to the brands, to be honest with you. I couldn't tell you which ones. I'm not a huge vape smoker. Natty Rems
Yeah, that
was
falls
one that
underneath
was
the
popular
concentrate
for a
world for
minute.
you. Yeah, yeah.
But like I said, all-in-ones are probably the most popular types of vapes that we sell. People love those, and people love the discreet nature of them. So
Yeah, they're getting smaller. Look at I actually have one right here. Look how small this sucker is.
that is tiny.
Like crazy. And I got small hands. My hands are pretty close to the size of the Burger King in the Burger King commercials. You know what I'm saying? The Whopper hands.
Yeah.
That's what I got, like little paws over here. Yeah, that whole world is crazy. Your opinion: flour, edibles, concentrate. Somebody comes to Colorado. What should they get? What is if I got a solid 100, $200 to blow on Colorado's finest, and I'm pulling up to Ajoya Brands, Joey, what are we selecting for those people?
I mean, I'd have to go with the flower, man, because there's a lot of brands like Good Tide or Wild or Wana. You can get it in
You
any
can get it
state,
elsewhere.
and so if you're a connoisseur of cannabis and you want to try something that's home Colorado, like from Colorado, I mean, go with the
Mm-hmm.
flower. And I would, I'd be trying the names that I said, right? Like
Yeah,
Local Love, Kind Love. I tried Green Dot and 710. Those are ones we can't really keep in stock, and they come
yeah.
in
I've heard
small
about Green
small
Dot. Green
batches.
Dot's been recommended numerous times.
Yeah, it's good product.
I love that.
It's good product, man. There's a lot of good product, but like I said before, I'm very much so me personally, I might be different than a lot of people. Like it's so much more than just the flower. Like if there's the source of the flower cares way more to me than the THC and the trichomes and the cannabinoids. Like who's growing it? How are they growing it? How are they caring for this? Like what kind of love are they pouring into this thing?
Why
Like
do you
that matters.
prioritize that so high, Joey? And I use the word high, and it's a biased leading question because everybody else does not. So why do
Yeah.
you do that?
Because I think as consumers, man, we've gotten so far away from like the source of products, so disconnected from one another
Who's
as a
making it? Who
people.
are they as people?
Yeah, like who are they, man? Like who's growing this? Like we're like Amazon, right? Like we're ordering everything on Amazon. And I don't get me wrong, I do this too. But it's like let's get things to our door as fast as possible. We don't even think twice about where it came from or how it was sourced. Here's what I liken it to. Like, if a friend of mine made a piece of art for my family, right? Like they work with metal. They made this piece of art, and every piece of the melds that they put in this piece of art, this altar that they built, had meaning behind it. And you could, because of like what they poured into it and the meaning inside of it, all of that, it's like this piece of art is invaluable to me, right? Like you can't put a price tag on this thing, as opposed to just going to like a store like a Target and buying a piece of art. Like I don't know where that came from. I don't know who painted it. I don't know what they put into it or why they did this particular thing. It's not connected to me at all. And I just believe the closer we are to the source of the things that we bring into our lives, whether that's cannabis or the material things around us, the more fulfilling we are. It's like the better I feel about the world that I'm building for myself. Right. So I don't know. That's how I think about it, man. There's a guy in the mountains. His brand is Pot Zero. I love his family. He can't see very well, but he knows how to like navigate his property. It's an outdoor farm, completely off the grid. They got their own water, their own electricity, everything. I love their story.
Wow.
And so I prefer their flower when we've got it. It's just I like where that comes from versus being in a commercial grow with 600 lights. With people that aren't really pouring into these plants. And again, it's not bad or good or right or wrong. It's just preference.
I mean, I don't go out of my way to go buy Walmart made goods or even really Costco made goods. They're available and they're a deal, but I look at where the fruit comes from and I pick based on what country or what area, or I try to spend money with, farmers markets, or I try to always buy stuff from people with small companies versus getting handed something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's just certain things that we can choose to do, and it takes that intentional effort and focus and discipline to really go do that in these other areas of our life. And I got a lot of respect, whether you care or not. I got a lot of respect for your decision to do that, and I think it brings positivity to the world and adds value to it. And it's a unique way to lead and operate your guys' business with, these things in mind, whether it's removing the indica sativa hybrid kind of curation or merchandising style, and doing it with your guys' choice of words, and making sure things are communicated like that versus the other traditional way everyone else does it in the bud tender level. I mean, again, it just goes back through, how do we choose to communicate? How do we choose to interact with other people? And you can send a text message to everybody and people aren't going to care. Large chunks of people just aren't going to care. We can send a text message to 80 people and they're all dabbers and they all dab rosin at the highest level, and and then you're going to get 75 responses, and it's understanding that we really want to be honing in and focusing demographic wise and interest wise. And they use this word, the homies sheesh, they just signed to Akon's label. When I interviewed them, they said relatable. You become more relatable when you actually communicate directly one-on-one with people, and I think that's very important.
I just sent an email out to my community over the weekend about cannabis and how I'm kind of going to shift gears for a minute, but how I when my son walks in the room, I still find myself taking my piece and like hiding it really quick. And I was just like feeling hypocritical, right? And so I just shared this with my community. It was beautiful. It's like I'm talking about my experience here, but like there's so many people that relate to having that experience and struggle with how do we, even as a dispensary owner, how do we talk to our kids about cannabis and show them like, hey, I know I use it, but you shouldn't use it right now. But teach them like, why do you use it? Right? Like, why do you use it? How does it serve you? How do you educate your kids? And so I don't know, you said relatable. So it got me thinking how important that is in the space.
And it circles back to why and what and how you're using cannabis. What's the real reason? What's the mental space? What's your physical reality like? Do you have a lot of stressors? Do you have things triggering you? Do you have pain inside that's not being handled or managed? These are all things that go hand in hand with potential cannabis use to manage relief. Right. Really, no matter I broke my leg and I'm hurting and I want to smoke because I just hurt, or edibles or drinking it or whatever it is, there's relief in forms. And this is one of the ways. Folks, this is a great conversation, man. Building Ajoya Brands. We got Joey Gindi here, CEO, big boss dog. This is cool, man. It's dope that you guys are really, really standing on business for doing it your way with this intentionality and this type of impact. I got a couple questions for you, and then we'll get you out of here. Have you seen a shift in consumer behavior over the last few years, specifically with this style of teaching, the style of communication?
What I'm talking to you about is definitely new. I've been in this conversation for the last 4 or 5 years, but I haven't been promoting it in the business until about 3 months ago.
Okay, cool.
So I'm just now starting to put it out there. But I have seen, shifts in consumer behavior. It's a good question, man. Like I've seen shifts in my own behavior, right?
But like, okay, so for example, is everybody in here? Let's do some specifics. Is everybody hooked on the high THC questions still? Is that the daily battle, or is it not as bad as it used to be?
It's not as bad. It's still a battle. Don't get me wrong. It's still a battle. People definitely still come in and they're like, what's the highest THC you have? And my staff does their best and they do a pretty good job at like shifting that conversation a little bit, and really the biggest question they ask is, what kind of experience are you looking for? Yeah. They're trying to dig into like, when are you going to be using this? Why are you using this? How are you using, like, what's the environment? You're going to a show, you're going to be home.
That'll be a similar, if not the same pivot for this next question, Joey, which is same question, but indica sativa hybrid. Same problematic pain point at the same level, or is it decreasing a little?
I think people are still, people that have some knowledge about cannabis are still coming in like, hey, what's your indica product? But our customers who have been shopping with us for a while, they're usually looking at, hey, what do you have in the settle category? What do you have in elevator? What do you have in unwind? But newer consumers coming in or people that aren't as familiar, they're still, they might be saying, I've heard about this sativa indica stuff. Like, can you educate us? My staff, like I said before, is very much so trained to like help them figure out what's the experience they're looking for, because that's what it's all about, man. Like that's why you're
Absolutely.
using this product, is to create an experience for yourself. So that's what I'm going to get curious about, and I'm going to help you find a product that's best suited to create that experience for you.
Let's talk about experiences. What do you guys do at your guys' retails in terms of experiences for customers in the event format? Do you guys do holiday stuff, vendor days, PADs? What's the words and verbiage for all that? And do you guys do those different kinds of things?
Yeah, man, we do some of it. We're about to be doing more of it. So we do pop-ups in store, and we'll have like on the major holidays, 420, and some other like Labor Days coming up and different things like that. We'll get a food truck and we'll have pop-ups, and we'll have people show up and kind of your generic kind of events. But I think I told you prior to this podcast that I was going to reduce our digital marketing spend and start to focus more on community engagement. That is where we're going, right? And we're going to start to do a lot more gatherings. I kind of want to do an art gallery, like get local artists from Louisville to set up their art and maybe do like an art gallery night at Ajoya and come and see maybe 6, 7, 8 different artists showing their work, and have a food truck there, maybe have a little fire in the courtyard outside, and create more of like a community vibe there. So that's sponsoring different
I would go to
events.
something like that, man. I would go to something like that.
That's the plan. That's the plan. So, I mean, as far as events we're a part of, I mean, we're about to do a lot more of that.
That's perfect. An exciting future awaits for the people that live around your guys' location. And it's Lakewood and Louisville?
Lakewood and Louisville.
And Louisville, man. You guys are coming in hot. Colorado in the building. One of the first 5 ever RMR podcast episodes with any guest from Colorado. Joey Gindi here, man. We're tapping in, sharing all the game. Last question before we get out of here. As the CEO, as the big boss, as the person leading the pack with this culture, with this focus on education, with this less digital marketing spend, more community involvement, what can the people expect as we round out the years? We have 3 months left as of today, and then it's basically Christmas time and Black Friday and all the craziness begins, where everyone just basically throws deals and tries to end the year strong and then take a breather. So what can we expect? What can the people expect from you guys, Joey?
We'll be launching our, as of now, and this might change, but it's the Awakening 30-day guide into conscious cannabis, 30-day journey into conscious cannabis. I'm going to do that with my staff over the next 8 weeks. And then after that, I'll be opening it up to our community. So that'll be an awesome thing to get to be a part of, is kind of this initial cohort of people that are coming together that are cannabis consumers who want to explore like deeper levels of their relationship to cannabis. We'll be doing some of the normal like event stuff, Halloween and Christmas and Green Friday and some different events around those holidays. But I really think this journey into conscious cannabis will be the highlight of our fall going into winter.
Of the fall going into winter. It's a great way to end the year and end the summer. Doing all these different activities and do you guys have any new brands or products? Any new vendors you're bringing on board? Is there or anything new that you can shout out?
Anything new? I don't have any. I'm not going to be just my focus is on this kind of wellness program and different educational platforms. I'll be building a school community that people can join in on for this.
Oh, school with the SKOOL, the school community.
Yeah.
I've been hearing about that. Big shout out to that company making waves and providing a space for us to do our thing, man.
Yeah, so I'm going to host it on there, man, so people will have an opportunity to be a part of a cannabis community who's up to things and exploring their relationship to cannabis. But yeah, outside of that, man, I mean, I'm not going to be personally developing new brands and products at this time. And we're always bringing on new products.
Yeah.
So if you are a Colorado local and you want to visit our stores, we're definitely always bringing on new products and new brands and seeing what our people think about them. And
what's the dispensary website? So if people pull up or decide to slide over, where can they go and place a pickup order or get something set up?
Yeah, go to ajoyalife.com, AJOYALIFE.com.
AjoyaLife.com, folks. Another episode of the RMR Podcast, man. Respect My Region Podcast Network. episode brought to you guys by Sparks Can and Blackleaf. Big shout out to all of our partners. We love you guys. Thank you for providing a platform for us to have these conversations and to talk about these different regions. And anybody that lives in Lakewood and Louisville, man, make sure y'all pull up to Ajoya. Make sure you guys go check it out. Ask, participate in these events. Eat that food for me. I'm jealous that I can't pull up, and I know Colorado's got some good eats. You guys have one of those chili, like a chili and everything is like what I learned about Colorado.
Green chili, man.
Yeah, man. It was great. I love that. I didn't have to ask for any kind of spice and flavor. It just already came with it, man. It was wonderful. But anyways, folks, we got more coming. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, Ajoya Life website, and we'll see you on the next episode.